I struggle to find headlines, whether it's Q1, specifically, or going back decades. It really boils down to those two prongs that you brought up: is what's going to happen with economic growth and what's going to happen with inflation. And I think, we can look at it. Tariffs are a broad topic, but kind of narrowing in on just one that really jumped out to me is the tariffs on automobiles and cars specifically. I think a lot of people know there's the big auto manufacturers here in the United States of Ford, GM, Stellantis. They really do a great job of driving that American industry, let's call it. However, just because something is made in America or an American brand, they have significant implications coming from the tariffs that were enacted. A single automatic transmission for just a single car, if you take it from scrap metal all the way through construction, crosses the border 7 separate times. What that really means then is there's 7 separate times where we have to figure out what are the tariff impacts, how are the prices going to add up, and are there going to be exemptions that are filed? There's just so much uncertainty around just a single automatic transmission, one piece of a car. And when you look at it, it seems like there's going to be some carve-outs for different kind of areas of, trade compliant agreements in the U.S., Mexico, Canada trade agreement that replaced NAFTA a few years ago. So that's going to hold up maybe. But really, I think we're seeing that there's going to be, if bringing it back to what could happen is when you look at inflation, these tariffs, specifically on cars, are expected to add 6% to their prices. So what that means to me is when you break it down, it seems like inflation is more likely to be coming back from these kind of headlines. And again, this is just one example of using the cars as where the prices are going to go up. But, yesterday, so on Liberation Day, as it's now being called, we saw announcements of tariffs across the board, and not just tariffs on individual countries and their imports. What now is a term that I learned this quarter was secondary tariffs, which I've never heard before. So if you buy Venezuelan oil, now you're getting tariff because we don't want you to do that. No longer is it just because of what you're bringing in or out. It seems like this is a plan that we're going to have to deal with, and how long it stays in effect will be really interesting to me.